The day we've all been waiting for. Iceman episode 2 is finally here. But can it save Drake's career? And now I know some of you hear me say this and you roll your eyes. Oh man, oh, another Drake hater. Oh boy. But it's true. Let's talk about it. Let's be honest for a second right now. Drake is still the top guy, I mean, as far as album sales for the most part, and as far as being a worldwide sensation. But when it comes to the heart of what hip hop is, he's teetering and he might just fall off the cliff. You know, for years we've talked about, is Drake a rapper or is Drake a pop star? And I've always said he's both. But the truth is, if he fails at this real rap comeback, his rights as being a full-on rapper are just gone. They're just gone. And this is something that I think has been, been prepped for quite a while, not only just with the whole Kendrick Lamar situation, the whole Kendrick beef and him losing, because he did lose, but it's something larger than that. Not for nothing. I mean, this new generation of kids, they've been programmed to like a lot of cookie cutter music, a lot of music that could fall by the wayside in any other era of music. And for that cookie cutter music, Drake has kind of been the mascot. I don't really feel that he's that way. I like his music. I think a lot of his music is original. And I think really the fact of the matter is that a lot of those people who make this cookie cutter music are cutting from Drake. They're trying to take from Drake. Does he have influence as well too? But that's for a whole nother video. But that being said, he's still the eye of everybody's disdain because of that. All the music that sounds like has no substance sounds like him. And so that's kind of the main reason that he lost in this whole beef versus Kendrick. And that's a main reason why now after this beef, there's been such a resurgence of quote unquote authenticity in hip hop. We just saw with the Clip's last album, Let God Sort 'Em Out. That album is incredible. It's one of the best albums of the year, if not the best album of the year. And that album is from two men who have been seen as extremely authentic. This is somewhere that Drake has never fully fit in. He's always been the party guy, and he has been the kind of deep song guy, but more on like, a younger generation level, more emo rap, not as much like, what I say matters, not as much like, I stand on my word. I like Drake, but I've never seen him as the type of guy who says some shit and that means that shit is gonna happen. And that I think is why he's kind of failed for so long to get this whole group of people, these hip hop heads, to really appreciate him, And now I think with this whole Iceman situation, this is the perfect opportunity for him to step up and do what he needs to do. This is the time for the rubber to meet the road. With his last album, Some Sexy Songs for You, cool album, fun album, but that's not the album you drop after you just got destroyed in a rap battle. Everybody's thought about you is you're not a real rapper, you're a pop star, and this battle just showed it. So what you don't do is make 80 million songs for the bitches. And that's basically what he's been doing. And that's why Iceman kind of sets itself apart, because this is a whole album that he's supposedly rapping. This might be the first fully rap Drake album. And it might not be, because I did in the Iceman live stream hear a few things that sounded a little bit more dancey than I would have liked. But it is a Drake album, so it just is what it is. But there's so many things to see from his live stream, especially too, this whole transformation that Drake is trying to have right now. And this is definitely the next chapter of his career. I don't know if this is the third act, as in it's very close to the end, but this is for sure another chapter. And I like how he's kind of rolling with it. I'll be real with you. I like how he is stepping up to the plate and just saying, like, people thought I was dead. I'm not dead. I liked even the imagery of Iceman, for instance, when they're in the pool and that dancer is playing the Central C song, that Drake has, the new one that they just dropped. It's in this Olympic sized pool that's 6 feet deep. He is standing on a balcony with a dude who looks like he's from the Peaky Blinders. I think he actually might be the actor from the Peaky Blinders who passes away in, I believe, season 3. He gets offed by a rival gang or whatever. So there's some symbolism there, and not only is he standing at the balcony, but the balcony says 4.5 feet deep. So it means I'm not 6 feet deep yet. I'm no longer dead. I'm not dead yet. And having the symbolism of that other character with him there too was definitely meaning, like, you guys think I'm gone, but I'm not gone. I like that type of stuff. I like that he's trying to step up in this way. I like that he's putting in actual effort in what he's doing for once. And he's never really had to, because he's Drake, and I get that. The keys come with the kingdom. It is what it is. But I like seeing his back against the wall. If I'll be real with you, back against the wall Drake is the best Drake. That was my favorite Drake, watching Drake in the beginning when he was coming out. When everybody thought he was corny and everybody thought he was lame and he had to prove himself. Nowadays, people want to act like everybody loved Drake from the beginning, but that's simply not true. It never happened. You really had to fight tooth and nail for every bit of the reluctant respect that he got. And now that reluctant respect is on the chopping block once again. And he really, really needs to deliver, man. He really, really needs to deliver. And, not only does he need to rap on this album and not do so much sing-songy stuff, but he also needs to authentically rap. He needs to start being honest about who he is. And to an extent, he always has been. But I think because of how big he is and because of how big the target on his back is, I think he needs to dive into that type of stuff even more. I don't want to just see Drake get into his hard rapping bag. I want to see Drake get into his hard rapping, old hurtful memory bag, the type of shit that real rappers do, the type of shit that he used to do. There was a time when Drake used to get on the mic and put his fucking heart on the line. And it wasn't the same type of rapidy rap that everybody was used to, but it was something different, but it was something that we could all relate to. And, it resonated with a lot of people. And I think that's how people first fell in love with his music. If he does that, he will have a much easier time being reintroduced into everybody's discography and everybody's playlists. Because right now he's having a very hard issue. I mean, not only is he one of the biggest artists ever, sure, that's still true, but now we've all noticed when he drops, it doesn't always go number 1. And, that is obviously because of UMG and the powers that be, but it's also because this last loss was a devastating one. And he doesn't seem to have adjusted to the loss. And so if he doesn't recalibrate his career and what he's trying to do in the rap game, he's going to be destined to failure. Because it's not only the lack of authenticity that's an issue, it's also the fact that the West Coast seems to be coming for his whole party rap style, and West Coast does party rap really well. But for a long time, that was Drake's own thing. He was the master of the club hit. But now you see Kendrick with this whole GNX thing, trying to tell you, hey, Drake, I can make sing-songy shit too. And then now you have Tyler, the Creator, which his whole album is nothing but club, West Coast, kind of like 80s party bops. So people, not only does Drake have to worry about being lyrically potent as a true artist and a true writer, but he also has to worry that if he stays stagnant, that top spot will be taken from him from somebody else. Needless to say, the boy's got a lot of work to do. But what do you guys think? Do you think this whole new album is going to be good and it's going to bring him right back on top? Do you think that this thing is going to fail and his career is just slowly going to wane year after year? Because I wouldn't be surprised at that either. And also, Do you think he's going to do the same shit he always does, or do you think he's actually going to come out and listen to the fans and listen to the people around him and really rap, which is what we want? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. I'll see you later. Peace.